Hey guys, it's Jay from Catch My Black and Gay podcast. This week is going to be a little different again. We didn't have a chance to record an episode, and so I thought this would be the perfect time to give you all a preview of what I've been working on. And so if you listen to the very first episode of this season, you know that I have this passion to create more content for our community, our Black LGBTQ community. And so I've been working on a new podcast. It's a fictional podcast, so please don't call the cops on me. But this is just the start of content that I'm creating for us, by us. And so, again, I wanted to give you all a preview of what I've been working on. It's a new podcast. It's called Extreme Curiosity. Again, it's fictional. I want you all to listen. It's not out yet. This is an exclusive. And so I'm nervous, but would love to hear your feedback. Tell me if this is something you all like, if you want more. I have a release date for the podcast, but I just want to see what your reaction is. Let me know. Enjoy. I'm obsessed with the things I want but can't have. Curiosity. We all have it. Some a little more than others. My curiosity is like a spark. It ignites the desire to learn more about the world around me. I've made meaningful connections and some fresh insights and even self-discovery being curious. Picture it like this. When you see an interesting person in a coffee shop, it's only human to wonder about their story. Are they a writer, a traveler, an executive at a Fortune 50 company, or maybe even a porn star? This urge to know more isn't something I should be ashamed of, but I definitely keep this a secret. I don't think anyone would agree with my approach to the curiosity of others. See, my curiosity doesn't strike with every single person I see. It's so random. There is a look and an energy of mystery when I encounter a person I'm curious about. I can't quite describe it, but I know when I see it. They are always men of color, no particular body type, and they have to be well groomed. That's a must. See, I'm never too curious about a person too long. I'm very good at what I do. Some instances turn into a meaningful friendship or a connection that can last for years. But in many instances, one would never know that I secretly admire them and I obsess over their every move. I don't call it stalking. I call it extreme curiosity. My name is Josh, and I live in Los Angeles. I'm a criminal paralegal by day, and some would say a psycho by night. I have this curiosity about people that sometimes turns into a brief obsession. Family and friends don't know my secret, and I intend to keep it that way. I want to tell you a few stories about my extreme curiosity. I know I'm not the only one that has it. Extreme curiosity. Extreme I've been going to the gym for years. It's become second nature to me. But on this particular day, everything changed. I spotted someone new, a tall black man, standing at about 6'1" with arms like watermelons and a sculpted six-pack. He was definitely a sight to see. I was working out on the other side of the gym, and I had to wrestle with my thoughts, and I tried not to stare. But he had a physique, and as he was working out, he has these intense facial expressions. And so after an hour of battling all those distractions, I found myself on the treadmill. While I'm on the treadmill, I see him. I see him walking towards the locker room, and I'm fighting the urge not to follow him. Instead, I stayed where I was and I finished my 2-mile run. Once I was finished, I started to head towards the exit, and I see this same guy walking the same direction as me, but he's a few steps ahead of me. So I hear the lady at the front desk say, "Have a good day, Logan." Logan, that's his name. The man that I've been fantasizing about for the past hour. Logan. I keep the same pace because now I'm curious. What kind of car does Logan drive? See, I always believe that you can tell a lot about a person by the vehicle that they drive. So I heard the engine start up, and I see an all black Ford Taurus with tinted windows. M15540R. That was the license plate number. Now, I always make it a habit to remember the license plate numbers. That way, I know I'm following the right person. See, this is how it all starts. My curiosity. You have to have patience. You have to be calculated, sometimes compulsive, and a little bit delusional. But the number one rule to extreme curiosity: never get caught. Now let's jump back into the story. I've been clocking Logan at the gym all week. Monday, he worked on his biceps. Tuesday was chest. Wednesday, he worked on his back, and he took his shirt off. My God, today. Thursday was leg day, and he squats very heavy. But today, he was on the treadmill. The treadmill 2 rows over from me. Now, remember what I said in the beginning. I usually run 2 miles, but today I did 5. Now, don't judge me. I felt like we were working out together. I felt like we were running together. I know, that's the delusion I was talking about earlier. So Logan finished earlier than me, and he headed to the locker room. I stayed back and I counted to 100 because I didn't want it to seem like I was following him. At least not yet. When I started walking towards the locker room, my friend Derek stopped me. Now, Derek can be a bit chatty, and today was the worst timing ever. But he started telling me about this woman that ghosted him, like I really cared. But then I saw Logan walking towards us, and as Logan walked by, Derek said, "Bitch ass nigga." I looked at Derek and I said, "What the fuck would you say that for? What did he do to you?" Derek told me that that's the cop that locked him up last year over some damn warrant. He felt like Logan treated him very aggressively. And so I looked at Derek and I said, "He's a cop?" And Derek said, "Yeah." So now I have a starting point. A starting point to what, you ask? Watch this. Over the weekend, I locked myself in my apartment and I devoted all of my time to researching Logan. I looked at the Los Angeles Police Department's website, but there was no information there. I even searched through the court system database with the software I use at work. I was hoping to find something, some type of record, but I had no luck. And then it finally occurred to me. If Logan has social media, he must be connected to the gym social media page. And so I went to Instagram, and even though the gym's social media page has 10,000 followers, I was prepared to go through each profile. But I didn't have to do all that. I just simply went to the follower list and typed in Logan, and there he was. Logan Brown, Detective Brown. Now, on his social media profile, he had mostly workout clips and a sweet Mother's Day post to his mom, but there was no sign of a partner or kids. I peeked over at who he followed: fitness accounts, a few travel pages, and profiles that were tagged Big Booty Judy. So the weekend is over, it's Monday, and I'm excited to go hit the gym. But that excitement quickly turned into disappointment because Logan wasn't at the gym that day. And so my thoughts were, is he okay? Maybe he got called into work. Tuesday came and still no fucking Logan. Where the fuck is he? And so once I got to work, I decided to dig a little deeper. See the difference between doing research at home versus doing research in the office. I have more clearance in the office, more security access, a bigger database. So I ran his name in the system, and finally, something popped. A major drug bust, 50 pounds of cocaine, guns, pills, all seized under the leadership of Detective Logan Brown. And so I Google searched the story, and there it was. Photos with the mayor, commissioner, attorney general, and it looked like some of his fellow cop friends. I even saw his badge number, 2241. Sometimes you have to celebrate the small wins. I satisfied my curiosity, but things are just beginning. I head home that day, and I get an alert that I have a package that has been delivered. I got really excited, and so I pressed on the gas just a little harder because I wanted to get home quicker. So I forgot to tell you guys a little something. During my weekend investigation, I hopped on Amazon and I ordered a police scanner. Yeah, a police scanner. I wanted to hear everything that Detective Logan Brown was hearing. I even envisioned me racing to the scene just to see him in action. And so I listened to the scanner that night, and I heard reports of fights, domestic violence, home invasions, a lost cat, and a police chase that lasted for an hour. Now, I did have to fight myself because I'm a very nosy person, and I wanted to drive to all of the locations and be nosy. But I ended up staying up until about 3 a.m. listening to the scanner. And shit, I fucking regretted that shit. The next morning, I woke up at 9:45 a.m. I had to be to work at 9 a.m. And it takes me 30 minutes to get to work, and that's without traffic. And so, yeah, I instantly regretted staying up until the wee hours of the morning listening to fights and all that bullshit. So I hopped up, I put on the same pants, brushed my teeth, but I didn't take a shower. Yuck. I was so mad at myself. This means that I didn't get to go to the gym this morning. And so my thoughts were, maybe Logan showed up today. Maybe Logan wondered where I was. Maybe he missed me. Yeah, that's that delusion kicking in again. I spent that whole morning struggling to stay awake at my desk, and so I took a half day. And as I was leaving the office, I got a text message in the group chat inviting me out for drinks after work. Now, let me pause and give you some context. This group chat includes some of my dearest friends. Terrell, my old college roommate, he now works in public relations. Sam, a substitute teacher, he's studying for his master's degree in psychology. Be careful, because in group settings, he can analyze you and read you like a book. And then there's Keon, the friend who loves to hear himself talk. He's the true definition of a narcissist. Keon can turn any conversation back to himself within seconds. Now, we don't know what Keon actually does, but he has secretly dated millionaires using their money to travel the country. I can't judge, though. These are my brothers, my black gay brothers. They may annoy me at times, but life would be so much harder without them by my side. I declined the invite for drinks, and I responded to the group chat that I had a very long day at work and I needed to get some sleep. I got home around 2 p.m., and I didn't even get a chance to take off my shoes or my clothes. I fell asleep right on the couch. I didn't wake up until 8 p.m., and when I woke up, I was hungry as fuck. And so I went to the kitchen to heat up the leftovers from last night. And while my leftovers are heating up, I turned on the police scanner. When I turned on that police scanner, all I hear is the dispatcher yelling, "Code 3, officer down. Code 3, officer down." I could hear the gunshots in the background. The dispatcher yells again, "Code 3, officer down. All units available, code 3. 5188 Hollywood Boulevard. All units available. 5188 Hollywood Boulevard." I know from watching crime shows, and I actually have an uncle that's a cop, that when code 3, officer down, comes across the air, all police officers, detectives, sergeants, lieutenants, and even local politicians head to that location. Now, if I'm being honest, I could give a flying fuck about the officer in trouble. My mind instantly went to the possibility of seeing Detective Logan Brown. I haven't seen him in a couple of days, and I might just miss him. I grab my keys and I run to the front door. And as I open the door, I hear, "Hey, bitch." I screamed so fucking loud, I know the neighbors probably thought I was being robbed. But I wasn't. Maybe robbed of a moment or an opportunity. But guess what? Guess who's standing at my front door? Terrell, Sam, and Keon. Yep, standing there with a box of pizza and 2 bottles of wine. They asked me where I was going, and I said I was going out to get some food. Sam smirked because he knew I was lying. They pushed past me and they made themselves very comfortable. That's not unusual. I was a fool to think that these guys would let me decline a link up. I should have known that they were going to come and check up on me. The guys gathered around my kitchen table and they started to chat. I wasn't really focused on the conversation. My mind was preoccupied. I had thoughts of missing Detective Logan Brown at the crime scene. Did he show up? Keon interrupted my thoughts and asked me, did I want a drink? But Terrell stopped him dead in his tracks and said, "Now you know he doesn't drink." And so let's pause the story real quick. Another rule to the game: never mess with your head more than it's already messed with. Drinking alcohol is a no-no. It can end badly. Trust me on this one. Keep a clear head, at least your own version of clear. It was midnight when the guys finally decided to leave and go home. I knew I couldn't turn on that police scanner, so I just went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up, I got dressed, and I headed to the gym. On the drive, the only thing I thought about was the intense leg day workout that I had planned. As I entered the gym, I saw someone walking behind me, so I decided, let me hold the door. As I turned around to hold the door, we locked eyes, and my heart dropped. It was Detective Logan Brown. I try to stay calm, but he says to me, "Thanks, man. I appreciate you." I responded, and I said, "No problem, bro." Bro. Did I just fucking say bro? I usually say stupid shit when I'm nervous or anxious. We both headed to the opposite sides of the gym, and all I thought was, it's time to take this up a notch. Now, if I calculated this right, we both usually get to the gym by 5:30 a.m. Logan usually leaves a few minutes before me. So that means I would need to finish my workout by 6:20 a.m. to beat him to the parking lot. Every time I saw Logan leave, I noticed that he would make a right onto the main street and then go down 3 lights and then make another right. That's as far as I could see. So I'm thinking, if I finish my workout by 6:20, I can beat him to the parking lot, jump in the car, go down 3 lights, bust a right turn, and wait there to see where this would lead me. And so I follow that plan to a T. And now I'm parked on an unfamiliar street, nervous. It's 6:40 and there's no sign of Logan's car. I wait a few minutes. Now I'm debating, is this a sign from a higher power to telling me to go on about my business and leave this man alone? Just as I was about to start my car and leave, an all-black Ford Taurus with tinted windows drives by. M15540R was the license plate. Yep, that's him. I guess the man above approves these actions. So I followed him. But don't worry, I kept a safe distance. He made a left and he pulled into an apartment complex that had underground parking. I parked across the street and I waited. A few moments later, he came up from the garage. He checked his mailbox. Row 5, 10th slot down. After 5 minutes, I bust a U-turn and I drove home and I get ready for work. For 2 weeks straight, I drove past Logan's place. Morning, afternoon, night, just to get a feel for his schedule. I actually wanted to make sure he was home okay. At least that's what I told myself. I also wanted to see if anyone was coming over. One night, his car wasn't there, and it was 11 p.m. He's usually home by then. I went home, and I couldn't sleep. So I went back, and I drove past every hour until 4 in the morning when I finally saw his car pull in. He was alone. After a while, I think this curiosity kind of ran its course. I see him at the gym still. A nod here and a wave there. Did I get what I needed? But let me pause. I know. Curiosity is a natural human trait. We all have been there, sneaking and taking a peek at someone's social media or wondering about a stranger's story. Curiosity can come, it can go, and it can always come back. Stay with me. We're almost finished with this story. It's Friday night, and the guys and I are out. We usually have a monthly gathering where we just go out, have fun, and see where the night leads us. Tonight, we're at Park Lounge. We don't do gay bars. Park Lounge is very diverse. It's full of young professionals that are looking to just have a good time. The atmosphere is always perfect. It's never too crowded. Plenty of eye candy. I enjoy Park Lounge because they have seating, and I don't like to fucking stand. So an hour goes by. Drinks are flowing. Of course, I'm drinking water. Laughs, dancing, really having a good time. As the music is playing, I spot a familiar body type. Now, even though I couldn't see this person's face, I knew those broad shoulders from anywhere. It was Detective Logan Brown. But he wasn't alone. I saw him with a woman. Long, dark hair. Very big butt. 8-inch heels. And a skin-tight black dress. It left nothing to the imagination. All night, I watched them from across the room. They didn't see me. Thank God Park Lounge keeps the lights dim. Or else, they would have saw me looking right through them. I learned something new about Logan. He can dance. I mean, like, really dance. So I looked at my watch, and it was 1 a.m. I knew the lounge closed at 2 a.m. and that all the lights would come on. And so I was proactive. I asked the guys, were they ready to go? I didn't want Logan to see me. I wanted to avoid any awkward encounters. We exited the club and we waited on our Uber. Terrell realized that he forgot his debit card on the table, and so he went back and he ran and got it. You can imagine I had so much anxiety. I was hoping that Logan didn't come out before Terrell. It felt like I was waiting forever. And then finally, the Uber pulled up. We're getting into the Uber, and Terrell comes running out. As he runs out, Logan is right behind him with this mystery woman. I get all the way in the back of the Uber because we ordered the Uber XL, and I sink down. I sink down into the seat because I didn't want anyone to see me. And so we head back to my place. When me and the guys go out and have nights like these, we usually end up spending the night over one person's house. It was my turn to host. Once we got back to my place, it didn't take long for everyone to settle down and start falling asleep. My 3 friends were deep in sleep, mainly due to all of the alcoholic beverages they consumed. Nights like these, I can't sleep because Sam and Terrell usually have a contest of who can snore the loudest. And so I laid on the couch. I grabbed my phone. I wanted to see if Logan had posted anything on social media. He didn't. I wondered, who was that mystery woman? And where is Logan? My curiosity got the best of me again. And so I tiptoed to my room. I put on some sweats and a hoodie, and I snuck out. I drove right to Logan's house. And as I was pulling up, I saw him and the mystery woman getting out the car. They were laughing and holding hands. Logan even stopped and kissed her. I could see the passion as he kissed her. I parked my car. I headed towards the garage. To my surprise, the gate was left open. I couldn't help but see that as a sign. This was the right move. And so I walked into the garage and saw the elevator doors close. I looked up and saw the floor indicator say R for rooftop. I wasn't familiar with the building's layout, so I had to think quickly. Do I follow them and take the elevator? Or do I opt out and take the stairs? The stairs seemed like the safest option, and so I did that. I walked up 10 flights. My heart was racing. I knew that after this 10th flight of stairs, it was the rooftop. And so I walked onto the rooftop. I didn't see anything at first, but I heard moaning. As I walked towards the sound, I saw Detective Logan Brown on top of this woman in missionary position, pounding her. Her head was hanging down from the edge of the roof. Logan's pants started to slide down. I hid behind a wall, peeking through a small gap. My eyes were big. I watched as Logan grabbed this woman and carried her to a nearby lawn chair. He quickly removed his shirt and let the rest of his pants fall. My heart raced with excitement because I really wasn't expecting that. He was about 8 inches long, had a lot of girth, nicely trimmed, and a vein down the middle. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Logan then turned the woman around. He told her to arch her back. He gave her back shots. I could feel those back shots myself. They switched positions after a few minutes, and the woman started to ride him. Logan looked like a porn star. She did too. Her breasts, they were perfect. They were bouncing up and down, driving Logan wild. I could tell this was the finisher because Logan's eyes was rolling to the back of his head. As Logan was about to climax, he pushed the woman off so hard that she fell on the floor. I think he did that because he wasn't wearing a condom. His moans as he climaxed, they were sexy. It left my mouth open. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Before they both could catch their breath, I tiptoed right back out the same way I went in. My heart was racing, and I could feel my entire body trembling. I needed to calm down before I can even think about driving. I sat in the car and I processed everything that I had just saw. How the fuck did I get here? The events of this night were very overwhelming. I finally got control of myself and I headed home. I walked in the door and I went straight to the living room. I wanted to make sure that everyone was still asleep. As I started to walk out the living room, Keon yelled, "You smell like sex, you nasty bitch." It startled me because I could have sworn he was asleep. He laughed and then went back to sleep. I rushed to the bathroom for a shower. While I was standing underneath the water, I couldn't help but laugh at how crazy this had really got. I asked myself questions like, what if someone saw me? What if Logan confronts me? What if somebody reviews the cameras? This was all too risky and dangerous. And so I avoided going to the gym for a whole week. Yep, a whole week, because I was nervous. I finally mustered up the courage to go back, and the first person I saw was Logan. He saw me walking in. For a moment, I felt nervous and guilty, but then he waved at me, and he smiled. I waved back. Guess he didn't see me. I tried to ignore any lingering feelings or memories from that wild night. And from that point on, There was no more drive-bys or impulsive moments. My extreme curiosity had finally been satisfied, at least when it came to Detective Logan.